It's a short window in January, just the 30-odd days to make a difference, but some of these players badly need a difference. So, Ali, we've got a segment here, who should leave this January? And we were thinking about whether this was for the players' benefit, for the club's benefit, but let's just say all-encompassing. There are enough people here to suggest that it could be in everyone's benefit if they leave. So give me your top 5.
This is a very flavorful list of names of players that if you're on this list, it means a couple of things. Either you've stunk the place and you are not performing at a high level, or your team hasn't done all that great, or a combination of both. So except the Liverpool players who, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm not picking either one of them, because why would you want to leave Liverpool right now? If you are in that club right now, you're showing up to practice like, hey, we're winning games. We're winning, and I'm here, and everything is fun. Everything is great. Even if you're not getting a whole lot of minutes, you're like, this is a great feeling. Coming to practice is not hard work when you have a team that is winning as much as Liverpool is and expect to win the way that they do. So take those guys out. Okay,
because there's no pressure on Dejan Lovren or Xherdan Shaqiri.
Yeah, well, no, maybe Dejan Lovren says, well, I could be starting somewhere else. Yeah, well, go ahead. Go ahead and start somewhere else and see what the struggles of mid-table look like. Do you want that? Or do you want to be like, well, guess what? We're going to win the league. We may defend our title in Champions League. Who knows? So it's clean living when you are with Liverpool right now. That's nice.
Agreed.
That's where you want to be.
Yep.
The other ones, not so much. And I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm going to start with Paul Pogba. And from the perspective of Manchester United and the perspective of Paul Pogba. From the perspective of Manchester United, say, well, no, we can't just get rid of world-class players, because let me tell you, we don't have many of those. And by many of those, maybe a couple. And he is one of them. But you do think about what the future of Manchester United looks like and the possibility that maybe you get a lot of value for Paul Pogba. The reason he's at 5 is because Paul Pogba right now will not demand nearly as much in the market because, well, he's injured. He's damaged goods. And we really haven't seen the very best of Paul Pogba for a while. So maybe they wait until the summer. But he's on his way out at some point. The next 3, it's a package deal, okay? and you take in whatever order you want. And I'm going to give you the perspective of the club. You got to clean house. You have to be able, if you have a plan in place, and you say, okay, what does our future look like? Are any of these 3 players part of that future? If it is, if you're still dependent on Phil Jones, Marco Rojo, and Nemanja Matic, then right now you might as well pack up and go home if you're Manchester United. Okay? We have seen what these players look like nowadays. And Phil Jones, as much of a professional as he is, man, he's out there running around in circles and it doesn't really produce what you need him to produce. And it's been years of Phil Jones now. It's not like we're waiting. It's not like, oh, this is the moment. No. I think we all know what these 3 players look like and what they will look like in the future. And if you're all 3 of them, you say, well, maybe there's a payday somewhere else. It's not going to happen in Manchester United. And so I think it just makes sense for Manchester United. If you're cleaning house, man, then really clean house.
Let's be frank here. If Ashley Young had still been at the club, he'd have been on this list and he'd been in your top 5.
Yes.
This would have been the Man United show.
Well, yes. Well, yes.
Yeah.
And the reason Paul Pogba is not higher on this list is because he's injured right now. And so if you're a team, you're like, well, what am I buying? What is it that am I purchasing here? Yeah, I'm not purchasing on clearance. If I'm coming to purchase, then all right, I want the real stuff. I want the good stuff. No, whatever he is right now. He needs to get healthy because he's got a Euro tournament coming up, and France depends on him to do well. To that point, the guy that needs to really go is Olivier Giroud. You watch Chelsea play, and it's Tammy Abraham, and then it's Michy Batshuayi, and then further down the list is Olivier Giroud. And if you're Giroud, you're thinking, man, I need some minutes because I don't care how much Didier Deschamps loves me, but if I'm not playing, and it's tough to make an argument for him to put me out there in the front line of France, as successful as we were with me playing in that position in the World Cup. There's a tournament coming up, and so you have to look at the big picture. Here, Giroud is like, I need minutes. I need to play. I need repetition. I need to get out. I need to get. And if you're Chelsea, you're thinking, well, we're not using him anyways. Might as well get something for him. And so I think mutually, Chelsea and Giroud would need to sort themselves out and get out of town.
Let's just finish up talking about these three guys here. Futures at the clubs for them, or they're on their way out at some point in the near future?
Well, it depends on, in the case of Mustafi, so Arteta comes in, and part of the reason that you come in, and one of the things that you do, is that you have to evaluate and reevaluate the talent that is available. And so what you can say about Mustafi is like, look, there are mistakes here. We have seen it time and time again. But it doesn't help that he's playing right next to David Luiz either, because there are mistakes there happening as well. So my mistakes get exposed, his mistakes get exposed, and now it's a nightmare back here. But I do think that he's going to get the remainder of the season, and there's going to be evaluation. And then Arteta will say, all right, these guys go, these guys stay. There are many of those at Arsenal in which you can say, those go that way and those stay right here. And those are the decisions you have to make simply because you don't know what's coming in either. And so while I agree that in Manchester United is clean house, it's because you already know what you got out of these guys. Mustafi, maybe you can squeeze something else out of him, maybe. As for Marcos Alonso and Pedro, the case of Pedro I think is clear in that you feel like Hudson-Odoi is a better option. William still there. Christian Pulisic is another option. And so I think he can see it. Written in the wall is like, yeah, my minutes here are coming to an end. And so maybe therefore there's an option to go somewhere else. And as for Marcos Alonso, successful at the club, but I think when they say, we're going to play with a back four, he's not the guy that can play on the left-hand side. It's going to be Emerson. And so unless they go into back three and he's that wing back, then it doesn't quite match up what he brings to the club. And if you're limited in that sense, then it probably makes sense for you to go as well. But it's not nearly as desperate as this.
Right. Desperate. Desperate.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.